Hey everyone, this is Aaron Runk, and in my last tutorial we went over how to apply features to a solid model, which was really cool, and we went through and revised and edited quite a bit of features and functions and attributes and so on and so forth on this part right here. That was a bit in depth. Now here's the good news. We're going to do something really cool with automatic feature recognition, and we're going to use some live tooling in this part, but we're going to have to first go to the description and we're going to have to download these 3 files right here, and I'll pull those back over here in just a second. So I'm going to go to Turn Mill and I'm going to create a new document. I'm going to hit cancel, and now I need to drag and drop the part. Now remember from our last tutorial, I cannot drag and drop from a zip file, so I'm going to have to go copy and paste so that I can grab it right here. So I'm going to grab, and now I'm going to drag and drop it, and I'm going to hit yes, and that's all I had to do to make it work. So we're going to come in here, we're going to use our wizard to establish the alignments. I'm going to right click and go into my pan option because this option works really well for me, and I'm going to rotate it so we can see it a little better. I'm going to align my Z by revolving around a surface, so I'll click that, and I'm going to hit reverse Z because I want it to be pointing outwards. So if you can't see it very well, that shows it to be going outwards. I'm going to hit next. I'm going to go define, hit next for round. Now remember, this button right here, if it's not already centered, when I click that dot right there, it will import my block on center with this, but that stock is not the right size. So we're going to have to go hit next, and we're going to go ahead and compute our sizes right here. So on my length, I'm going to make it 1 inch. On my OD, we're going to make this 9 inches. And then I'm going to leave my length offset at 30 thousandths. So I'm going to hit preview. Now again, what this does is it shows that I have 30 thousandths in on the face of my material because that's how much I'm going to take off with my facing. I will hit next. I want to put my part 0 at the face of it, but I don't want to be aligned with the stock. I want to be aligned with the model itself. So I'm going to type a minus 30 thousandths. I'm going to hit preview. And then I'm going to hit next and finish. And now I'm going to hit cancel, and I'm going to rotate it right here. Now one thing I do need to grab, just like I did in my other tutorial, is we're going to do a turn feature and we're going to do a bore feature. Now what's really cool is we're going to do the turning features at the beginning. We're going to do our automatic feature recognition, and then at the very end we're going to come back and do another turning feature. So we're going to be flip-flopping it around, but it's going to make a lot of sense on how to utilize these functions when we're all done. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go into construct. I'm going to go to surfaces. I'm going to go down here to revolved surface boundary, and I'm going to make sure that convert to geometry is turned on. I'll hit preview, and you'll see it grabs that right there, which is good. Now I need my turn for this part, and then I'll need the bore, just that one little line at the very end. So I'm going to click OK, and before I get too much on my screen, because if we try to do that at the end, there's going to be a lot going on. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to hide my solid, and I'm going to go ahead and make these into curves. So I'm going to go to curve chaining right here. I'm going to go to pick pieces. And for my turning, I'm going to click up here at the top, and then I'm going to click on the face, and we're going to call that turn 1, enter. And then I'm just going to click the inside of this bore, which is going to just be bore. So that's going to be very helpful after we get this going. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to open up my solid, and we're going to show select it again because we're going to need it. And the first thing I want to do is let's go ahead and come back to those downloads. And let's go ahead and bring in my turn post number 3 if it wasn't already there. And I'm going to bring in my machine right here. And of course it's going to give me an error, and it's going to say, hey, this is all coming in. So this is my machine right here. So we can see the turning area right here and my turret right here. Now I'm going to come up to my features, and I'm going to stay in the turning. We're going to jump into turn mill here in just a second. And the first thing I want to do is I want to do a face. And it's 30 thousandths in. I'm going to hit preview. We'll change our view so that we can see everything. And then I'm simply going to hit finish. And then I'm going to click OK. And then we're going to zoom out a little bit so we can see our geometry. I'm going to go into features again. I'm going to hit turn from curve. I'm going to select the turn. Okay, it's kind of hard to see it because it is got that model in there, but we can kind of see it a little bit right here in the red. I'm going to hit next and finish. And just like that, we have the facing and turning of this profile. And now we're going to go and do the fun stuff. I'm going to go into features. I'm going to go into turn mill, and we're going to go to side. We're going to extract with feature recognition. I'm going to go along the Z setup, and then I'm going to go to automatic feature recognition. Now when I hit next again, I've got a lot of stuff being recognized right here. I just want to do this gearing portion on the outside. So do not hit select all. We're just going to do these individually. And I'm simply going to hit finish and click OK. Now I'm going to come up and I'm going to do this big bore right here. So I'm going to go features. I'm in turn mill. I'm going to go to pocket. I'm going to hit next. I'm going to stay along the Z. And I'm going to go up to automatic feature recognition. And you see that I've got this big bore right here. So I'm going to hit select all and hit finish. Now that that's selected, I'm going to hit OK. And we're going to do another pocket, but it won't be in the center. We're going to select these 7 bores out here. So I'm going to go features, turn mill, pocket, along Z. I'm going to hit select sides. This will help out. And I'm going to hold down the control button and I'm going to start clicking on all of these sides right here. And then I'm simply going to add it. I'm going to hit next and finish. So as you can tell, automatic feature recognition is helping quite a bit because we're actually halfway done with all of our features. So I'm going to come down here and see that I have these offset holes. We're going to plug those in next. So I'm going to go to features, turn mill. We're going to go to hole. We're still going to extract from feature recognition. I still want to be along the Z axis. Now right here, yours might pop up with 1 inch. So I want to exclude holes greater than 750, and then I'm going to hit next. I'm going to hit select all and finish. Then I'm going to click OK. And just like that, we have the gears, we have the pocket, we have the 7 holes right here, and then we have the small holes right here. We're almost done. So the last thing I want to do is that bore that we have right here, before I part it off, we're going to go ahead and establish it. So I'm going to go into features, go back to turning. I'm going to go to bore from a curve. I'm going to have the select bore, and just like that, it has all that there. Now if we tried to hide our solid and then tried to go pick that little itty bitty line with all this purple everywhere, it would have been quite a task. So that's why we made that bore in the very beginning, because it can find it immediately. So I'm going to hit next. I want to pre-drill this hole. We'll go a diameter of 1/2 inch. We'll have this go 1 inch deep. And I'm simply going to hit next. And if you'll look, this tool, this boring bar, is the one we made in our last tutorial. So I'm simply going to hit finish and OK. So we can see it. I know there's some anticipation going on right now. So let's go ahead and see what this looks like when it runs. So I'm going to go 3D mode, and I'm simply going to hit play. So it's going to come down here, and it's going to do my face. It's going to do my turn. Then it's going to start coming around the outside of my part. We're going to speed this up, and just like that, it did my gearing, it did my bores, it did my holes, it did my pocket, it did everything, which is really cool. So the last thing I want to do is I want to go ahead and part this off, and then we can do some more adjustments in our attributes. So let's hit eject. I'm going to come down here to bore. I'm going to come down here to features, and I'm going to hit next and cut off. I'm going to hit next, and I want to change this so I can see what's going on. And then I'm going to go up to preview. Now as you can see, this is not aligned with the back of my part, and I need it to be. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave this at 0. I need my diameter to be at 9 inches. I want the width of this to be 250 thousandths. I'm going to hit next. And right here, that's where it's positioning at. But we're going to cheat. We're going to click Z. We're going to rotate my part. We're going to come down until the bottom of my part goes solid. And it should be 630 thousandths. Pretty close to that. That looks good. So I'll come up to front again. And you can see that it is aligned up. So I'll hit next. I'm going to hit finish. And I'm going to hit OK. So let's go ahead and run this one more time. I'm going to hit play. It'll go through pretty quick. So I've got my part doing the turn. We got the outside going on. I'll kind of slow it down just a little bit. That way we can see the gearing doing its thing. We can see it's opening up that pocket. It's going to center drill and do my holes. It's going to do the inside. And then, oh, this isn't good. Now, I turned off my alarm so it could go ahead and try to cut all the way through. But your alarm might have popped up saying that it could not actually reach using that tool. Well, that's not good because that's not going to work. So I'm going to hit eject. I'm going to come back up to my cutoff. I'm going to go right click properties. I'm going to come up to the cutoff location. Now this tool is what it selected when we hit finish. Now keep in mind that is definitely not long enough for what we're needing to do. So I'm going to double click and I'm going to open this up and I'm going to go to holder. Now this cut depth only has 500 thousandths. That's not going to be enough. Now I'm going to pretend like I have this imaginary tool. I'm going to make it 8 inches. I'm going to hit preview and you can see that this tool now has exactly what it needs. So I'm going to hit OK. I'm going to hit apply and then I'm going to hit OK again and we're simply just going to run it and I'll keep it kind of fast so we can see everything going. We'll get through the gearing, we'll get through the pocketing, we'll get through the holes, we'll get through the ID bore, and just like that, we have our part all the way done. And if I turn it just slightly, you'll see that it does come all the way through. So the good news is we have the majority of this all the way done, but something that's going to happen if you go to machine this part, keep in mind that we are in a perfect environment. So whenever I go to part off this tool with these tools going exact depths, it's going to leave really big burrs on the bottom of the holes, on the bottom of the edges, so on and so forth. So we're going to do a couple things. We're going to fix the depths of all these holes and the bores and all the features, and then we're going to turn these holes into tapped holes. So I'm going to hit eject. I'll come up to my pattern. I'll right click it and let's go to the properties. I'm going to come up here to dimensions. I don't want it to be a plain hole anymore. I want it to be a tapped hole. And yours will probably come up to custom right here. So I'm going to go to standard. I'm going to turn it to a 1/2 inch 13 UNC. Now if I hit apply, I'll get an error right here because my drill depth has to be deeper than the thread depth. So I'm just going to make it a little bit deeper. Let's go ahead and make the drill the same depth as my other drill, which is 1 inch. I'll click apply. And then I'll click OK. So those have all been modified. And now what we're going to do on everything that goes through the part, we're going to have it go 30 thousandths deeper. So not that one, but these, we're definitely going to go deeper on this one. So if we want to go 30 thousandths deeper, we're going to change that to an 8 and hit apply. And then I'll click OK. On my holes, we'll click on it and we'll go to dimensions. We'll have this go just a little bit deeper. We'll go 100 thousandths deeper on this one because taps need to go a little bit deeper, especially if I have a lot of those lead threads. I'll click apply and OK. And just like that, we're going to hit play one more time. I'll speed it up a little bit. Then we're going to hit play and we're going to watch this do this whole part again. So we'll kind of speed it up to get through these options right here. We'll kind of slow it down just a little bit. We can see that that is our tapped hole right there. It's going to come in, it's going to do the drilled hole for the center. And then the last thing it does is my boring. And then it's going to come down through here. You can see that make-believe grooving tool part off all the way down through the whole part. And just like that, I've made my features go a little bit deeper. I've got my part off tool working. And that looks to be just about it. But I don't want to have to do this again. So the last thing I want to do is come File, Save As. I'm going to go to my downloads and we're going to name this Introduction to Turn Mill. Then I'll come over here and hit save. It says it's not a valid name because I have this little dash here, so I'll make that an underscore. Then I'll hit save again, and I'll hit save, and just like that, everything is all done. So again, my name is Aaron Runk. I hope you've enjoyed these tutorials. I know they are a bit lengthy, but at the same time, there's lots of good information in here. Be sure and check out some of these other tutorials. My last video is down here on the left. Again, my name is Aaron Runk. Thank you for watching, and stay tuned for any tutorials I might start making in the future.